How are we? I'm just going to check I can be heard. And then we'll make a start. I hope you're not too hot on this very, very hot Friday. There we go. Okay, let's make a start then. So, good morning and welcome to our third and final session of our London bus tour. So, you're joining us for our Just2easy live lesson, and we're going to be looking at JIT. And we have been looking at JIT the last 2 weeks. So, this is the final session, and we're going to be creating our ebook. So, a bit more information about that in a little while. So, if you don't remember, my name is Miss Kimball. I am from Just2easy, and I'm going to be teaching you and your teachers how to use the Just2easy tool suite. Now let's have a little think about what we've done in the last 2 weeks. So the first week that we met, we drew our London bus using JIT paint. We used a transparent background and we drew our beautiful London bus. Then last week, we used our JIT Animate to animate our London bus going through a local landmark. So you can see there, I chose Big Ben, you might have chosen something different. And you might have potentially given some little facts there. So I've got a Big Ben fact flashing up in a speech bubble. So we've done lots and lots of work already so far. But this week, we're going to finish off our project and we're going to think first of all about what the differences are between a book and an ebook because we're going to be creating an ebook today. Okay, we're going to find and open JIT Mix and we're going to learn how to use JIT Mix. So we're going to add a front page including a title, an author name and an illustration. We're going to add an animation page and our bus animation. And then if we've got time, we might add an additional page or I might leave that as an extension activity for you. And then we're going to save our ebook. So we've got a very busy morning again. So I hope you are ready. So let's have a look at what we're going to, no, wrong page. So let's have a think about what a book is and what an ebook is. So who can tell me what is a book? Easy peasy question. What is a book? So a book is a physical object. So this is my flip pad book. So this is a notebook. Okay. It has pages. It has a title page. So mine just says sketchbook actually. This is what I like to make my notes in. It will probably have an author. Has lots of pages. It has written words in it. And you can turn the pages. It might be a fiction book, in which case it's a nice story. And it might have some pictures in there. Or it might be a non-fiction book, which means it tells us some facts, so some information. And again, that might have some pictures in it. So if it's an encyclopedia, it might have some pictures. So there's lots and lots of different things that are included in a book. Who knows what an ebook is? Now, teachers, if you want, you can pause the session and have this as a discussion point if you want to. What is an ebook? So an ebook, the E stands for electronic. Electronic. Okay, so an ebook has a lot of the same things as a physical book, so an actual book. So it'll have a title page, it'll have different pages, it'll have words, it might have pictures in it. But an ebook is shown on an electronic device, so you might read it on a computer or a tablet or an iPad or a Chromebook or a phone. I read my ebooks on my phone because I have my Kindle. So Kindle is a type of ebook reader. Okay. Now the benefit of having an ebook is that there are some slight differences. Okay, so things like you can highlight things in an ebook and you can get your book to talk to you. So you can turn it into an audio book. you can share that book over different devices. So I have my Kindle on my phone and I also have it on my Kindle upstairs. So sometimes if I'm out and about, I can start reading my book on my phone when my Kindle's at home. But I couldn't do that with a physical book because if I'd left it at home, I wouldn't be able to read it. Okay. And that's what we're going to create today. We're going to create an ebook that you can hopefully share with other people. And teachers are going to show you how you can share it quickly and easily with your parents, for example. So let's have a look, shall we? This is not what we're going to do today. I haven't changed this page. Silly me. Let's have a look. I'm going to find it. Here we go. So this is my London bus tour. In fact, let's look at it like this. I'm going to go to my green eye, open in view mode. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to add in a page. I'm going to add in my title, so London Bus Tour, and my author, which is by Miss Kimball, which is kind of hidden by this bar. And we're going to add in our bus that we drew a few weeks ago. We've got speech to text at the top so we can listen to our book. London Bus Tour by Miss Kimball. Okay, so great if you've got people that find it difficult to read. We're going to have different pages. And this time, instead of words, we're going to have our animation. So this is another benefit of having an ebook, is that we can include interactive media. So sounds, animations, little films, we can include those in an ebook. And here is my animation. So this is Big Ben. I've got my picture, so I'm going to add that in. And then I've also added in an additional page. Okay, we might not get round to this. This might be the extension activity. But we've got our paint page, so we've added in a picture of Tower Bridge. I've stamped my bus on it, and I've added some facts about Tower Bridge, and I can listen to those facts. This is Tower Bridge. The bridge was opened in 1894, making it 131 years old. There we go. And I'm going to stop that. So that is our example. So this is what we're going to create today. So hands up, who would like to do this with me? Hopefully you've all got your hands up. So let's have a look, shall we? Oh, there we go. There's my waggle. Silly me. So that's what we're going to create this morning. So teachers, you've done 3 sessions with me now. You know the drill. So I'm only going to say this once. Please, if you need more time, you can pause the session. So, if the students are taking a little bit longer to complete parts of the activity than I am, which is very likely, you can pause the session and carry on when you get chance. You can also use the link that you were sent this morning to access the on-demand. So if you find that you only complete the first page, for example, by the end of the lesson, you can come back and start the live lesson where you left off. So, children, I would like you to find JIT. So this should be easy. We've used it the last 2 weeks. So from your Launchpad, so presuming that you're logged in, if you're not logged in, then log in and resume the recording. And we're going to click on JIT. Now my JIT is here. Yours might be somewhere different. So we're going to click on that. And JIT always opens up into Write. We know this. We're going to use JIT Mix this week. So can you see top of your screen here, top corner, this little black tab or grey tab? That is our Mix tab. So we're going to click on that and you'll know you're in the right space because it has a grey screen. So if your screen is a different colour, you're in the wrong place. So get maybe your partner next to you or put your hand up and your teacher can help you. Okay. Now, JIT Mix works slightly differently to any other JIT tool. Okay, so we need to have a careful think about, first of all, how we want our page to be laid out. Okay, so there's a variety of different page layouts. So you can see we've got, this is a paint page with some writing underneath. This is a paint page with some writing. Our oldest students, or most capable students, we can centralize this text by clicking at the beginning of our word. So I'm going to click at the front of London and I'm going to use my space bar. centralize that text. So that is how we can change the alignment of our text, okay, using the space bar. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add in an image here. Okay. Now to do that, we have to click in this box. So click anywhere in that box and you'll know that you've clicked in the box because can you see my writing options have changed to my painting options. So teachers, there is an extension opportunity here if you want. They can draw their own background if you want them to. Okay, I'm going to choose a template. So that is the alternative option. So it's entirely up to you. Obviously, drawing a background is going to take a lot longer. So children, we are going to go up here to the top of my screen. Can you see here on the top of my screen? If I just zoom in a little bit. I'm going to zoom in. You don't need to, okay? Can you see this little asterisk button? It's under the mix title. Here, we're going to click on that asterisk. And that is going to bring up your templates box. Okay, so I've clicked here, and here are my templates. And what we're going to do is we're going to scroll right down to the bottom. So we're going to drag this scroller here. I'm going to keep rolling, keep scrolling, keep rolling, scrolling. And there are 3 London backgrounds. So there's Westminster Abbey. There is I think these are both supposed to be the Mall. So that's definitely the Mall because that has got Buckingham Palace at the end. And that is a generic road in London. Okay. So I think I'm going to choose this one actually. I'm going to do something different. There we go. And this was on the coronation day. So I actually have some clip art here that I could use if I wanted to. Okay. So again, teachers, you can extend that activity if you want to get them to use the clip art. So they can click through these pictures here to add in some coronation clip art. But what we're going to do is we're going to find our London bus because it's very important. That is what our book is about. That is what our ebook is about. So I'm going to click on the word that says coronation. And then I'm going to click on this little orange person. And then we're going to scroll. We're going to keep pressing this arrow until we find our bus. Now mine's going to be quite hidden. Hopefully yours will be a bit closer to the top than mine. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, so there is my London bus. So I want you to use these arrows until you find your London bus, and then you're going to click on your London bus. Okay, so at the moment that's quite small, isn't it? So when you found your London bus, we can make it bigger or smaller. And we can, if you're using a mouse, you can hover it over your page and see how big that is. Now, if you're using a touch screen, you can't do that. So if you're using an iPad, or if you're using a Chromebook with a touch screen. But what we can do is you can touch on the screen where you want it. I don't know why I'm touching the screen because you can't see me touching the screen. You can touch on the screen and see what your bus looks like, and then you can use that undo button if you think it looks too big or too small or you want to change it. So we can make that a bit smaller, pop it over here, and just use that undo button to change the position. Okay, so I think I'm going to stamp it, probably, that's going to make it a bit bigger actually. I'm going to stamp it right in the middle, and there we go. Okay. Now, before we start a new page, we are going to learn how to record some audio. So teachers, I'm going to show you how to do this. What I will say is good audio can make or break a book. So if you get the opportunity to do this or to revisit this particular activity, it's a nice thing to provide some quiet spaces where the children can take their devices and record audio and then come back. So things like your little teaching cupboard, just having that with the door open, that smaller space, if you've got a teaching cupboard, can help make the audio a lot better quality. Okay, because it can be quite a noisy background. Or if you've got plug-in microphones, not many schools do, but if you do have a plug-in microphone for the laptops, they work really well. Okay, so what we're going to do, children, is we're going to record ourselves saying the title of our book and our author. So I'm going to say London Bus Tour by Miss Kimball. And you're going to read whatever your book says. So I'm going to go up here. Can you see this record, this little microphone button? Again, I'm going to zoom in just so you can see. Oh, at the top of my screen there. So you're going to click that. Now it might flash up, if this is the first time you've done this, it might flash up with a little warning box that says, do you give permission? So you need to click allow. You need to click allow or yes, depending on which device you're using. So if you don't, it causes issues. Okay, if it comes up with an error code, teachers, it means you need to go into the privacy settings of that particular device and allow the microphone. So if you're getting lots of those in class, maybe just skip ahead to the next bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to press this record button. We're going to say the title of our book and our author, and then we're going to hit the stop button. Okay, so very simple. I'm going to hit record. London Bus Tour by Miss Kimball. And I'm going to hit stop. Now I can listen back to that. London Bus Tour by Miss Kimball. Okay. And if I'm not happy with it, I can just hit record and record it again. But I'm happy with that. I think that sounds fine. So I'm going to click OK. And that now has linked that page. So that is how we can record audio. So that's really useful if you've got things that you've written down and you want to record yourself reading out loud. Or maybe you find writing really, really difficult. So instead you could record some audio with your thoughts or descriptions. Okay. And what we're going to do now is we're going to add another page. Okay, so can you see this add button up here? Again, I'm going to zoom in just so you can see right at the top of your page, just under where it says turtle, there's a green plus button. So that allows us to add another page. So we can keep adding and adding and adding. So I'm going to add a page and we've got our page layout options. Now, there's a couple of things that we need to do because we're going to change things up. So we need a page where it's just the tool, no writing. So can you see there's a page with just the tool? And it's this one here. So we're going to click on this and then don't press the tick yet. Just wait. Okay, so I need to explain this first. So when we're using Mix, we can use all of the tools in JIT on a different page. So can you see this is blue? Okay, so that means it's a paint page because the paint pages are blue. Now we want an animate page. So what page color do you think I'm going to look for? Pink, that's right. So we're going to click. Can you see these arrows either side? That's a turtle page. We don't need turtle. That's a chart page. We don't need chart. That's a pictogram page. We don't need pictogram. That's pink. So is that the right page? Yes, it is. So that is our animate page. Can you see? So then what we're going to do is we're going to hit that tick button there. Okay, so teachers, that's how you add a different page for each tool. If it was a paint page, all we could do is paint. If it was a pictogram page, all we could do is create a pictogram. Okay. Now we can create pictograms, animations from scratch, but we've already made one. We made one last week, didn't we? So we want to load our animation that we made. So what we're going to do, again, at the top of your page, can you see under Mix, we've got this green folder button. Can you see? I want you to click on that. So you're going to click, and that's going to bring up a box. And your bus tour should be in there. Okay, so you're going to click on your bus tour animation that we made last week. So I'm going to click, and that's going to add that in. It might take a little while. So we've clicked on the green folder button up here at the top of your page. We've clicked on your animation that you want to add, and that has added that in. So we can click play, and we can watch that animation back. Doesn't that look fantastic? Okay. And that's all we need to do for our animation. I mean, you can make it faster or slower, and you can change some of the settings if you wanted to. So teachers, we're going to save our work in a second, but just rest assured you can add in as many pages as you want. So if you did want to extend this activity, and if you wanted to get them to add in some landmarks and some information, they can click the plus button and do the same as we did for our heading. We could have an image page with some writing down the sides. Okay, so children, we really need to save our work because this has been a fantastic session, and I bet you're really proud and pleased with your work. So we're going to hit the save button, which is up here. So this little orange button here. It might take a little while, especially if you're all saving at the same time and your internet in your class. And there we go. We can see that is definitely saved because that is grayed out of my options there. Now, teachers, there's also the publish to journal button. So you can publish this as a completed piece of work. If you don't know about journal, have a look at our YouTube channel. There is a video about it. It's very, very useful. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show your teachers how to generate a QR code to those pieces of work because I think that's really important. So we're going to open up our pupil files, teachers. We're going to go to our class, and you can go to list files, and you should have all of those mix files that we've just saved should appear here. Now what we can do is we can go to the green eye, and we can go down to QR code, and that is now a scannable QR code. Okay, and that will be a view only file. So if you wanted to save, if you want to send this home and you want parents to be able to scan this, just click this publish button, and that is now a scannable QR code by anyone. It doesn't need a Just2easy account to view it. So that's great for giving your students that authentic audience that they need. Okay, and students, you can take these home. So I hope that you have enjoyed our series as much as I have. I do love delivering these live lessons, and teachers, we are going to be delivering one live lesson per week starting in the middle of September all the way till June next year. So keep an eye out. We'll be sending that out in a newsletter to let people know. So keep an eye out for those. So this has been our London Bus Tour Digital Creativity Project, and we've completed this now. So you are able to enter to win a pizza party for your class. So if you completed all 3 lessons, then you can download a certificate and you can enter the prize draw. So I will send you a link to this a little later. And if you are accessing this on demand, you can access that certificate if you go to Teachers area. If you go to What's On, and if you go up here to Events and down to the London live lessons have gone. Oh no, they're not. If you go to live lessons, go to free London live lessons, and that is where you can download your certificate. Okay, so that will be live shortly. So thank you ever so much for attending. I hope you've enjoyed it, class, and I hope to see you for another live lesson soon. Okay, bye.